All right, that is set up. Sometimes I wish I could remember anything.
You'd be surprised how much I relate.
There we go. Okay. Chat can see my screen. Okay. Uh, the question. I'm sorry.
The question was, what is it like to play Valorant for you? What is the experience of playing Valorant like for you?
So it that it's fun, but I tend to either run into stomping the other team or getting completely stomped and very little in between.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
uh, I guess I'm still very new to this. Let me hold on. Let me tell you. Actually, I can give you more details. I am account rank 25.
Oh yeah, brand new, brand new.
Oh yeah. Uh, I guess break it down a little bit because I don't know how to elaborate.
No, I think you answered the question well. So you said it's fun, but I tend to run into stomping or getting stomped.
Yes.
I asked you what's it like to play Valorant, and I think that's a well placed answer. It
Mm-hmm.
tells me that, well, so first of all, when you have a new account, it doesn't quite know if you're like an ex CS:GO pro player or if this is like the first time you've ever touched a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not quite sure where to place you. So it usually takes a while, going back and forth between way too strong or way too weak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as well as, a lot of the game is adapting to situations, adapting to play styles, adapting to, all these different things. And that skill is probably the most difficult one to develop because like there isn't really a trick to it. It's kind of just like playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that you tend to either stomp or get stomped sounds like around, what I'd expect for a time like this. Um what what is the difference in experience for you? So you said it's fun, but so why isn't it it's fun and?
Well, that's a really deep question. I hadn't thought about that.
Hmm.
It Granted, I have a kind of a fear of people, so I tend to just sit back, play my lane, and I pick controller, which is probably not the best one if I'm afraid of people. But
Hmm.
uh, I it's very much a I tend to only play when I'm playing with friends, and I think that's just because I am not confident enough in my skills to play solo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What's wrong with playing when you don't have skill?
Well, see, now
Mm.
deep psychoanalyze that I have a fear of failure.
Ah, see? Okay, so you already got it all out, all laid out, huh?
Mhm,
All right, fear of people, fear of failure, right? So those are the two things that click. I'd say I noticed the most in this VOD because
mhm,
I did notice those things, as well as like different mechanical things. But more than anything, I noticed those two kind of habits, I,
mhm.
I can say. Um, and then is there anything about the game itself that like maybe you'd want to understand better, or you'd want to uh, get more comfortable doing, or anything like that?
I so I mean, as you saw from the VOD, I pretty much, if given the choice, exclusively play Omen, and that is
Mm-hmm.
because of his flexibility. I like that in theory. There's like the standard smokes, which you probably saw me just trying to throw standard smokes all the time. And I would love to
Mm-hmm.
be able to learn the rules so I can bend the rules, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I 100% understand that. So you mean the rules of throwing smokes?
Oh, just like being able to learn like pretty much everything, like angles, smokes, positioning, so that then I can also know off angles, like weird smokes. You sent me a video, and I have not been utilizing apparently Omen's one of his best features, which is one ways.
Yes. Yeah. So that very much depends on the map, and it's difficult to line it up for
Hmm.
just yourself. Since you usually just play with friends, that's actually a benefit. So most of the time, I'd suggest that people play with more than just a friend. But I mean, more than just themselves, just because of those things, especially, with something like a fear of people or a fear of failure. That's like, it's scary. Like, it's just scary. So
Hmm.
that makes a lot of sense. And then with something like One Ways and the amount of range that Omen has for throwing his smokes, throwing One Ways could be something super duper valuable to you. So, okay, that's cool. So then, uh, in this VOD, I think the two things that we can focus on the most, we can say your smokes,
Hmm.
and are you comfortable with us? I'm not going to like try to get you to confess any like traumatic childhood memories or anything, but are you comfortable with us discussing like the mentality and noticing the patterns that are visible in this VOD
Oh, of
of how
course.
you react to certain things? Yeah? Okay,
I'm
cool.
pretty much an
Awesome.
open book. I
Awesome.
cut and dry.
Fantastic. Okay. So we'll look at the smokes and we'll look at the mentality stuff. So, for future reference, if you do, I also wanted to ask you this question: do you want to get better at Valorant because you think people might watch your stream more if you were good at it?
That's not. It's more that I enjoy playing with like friends and all that stuff, and I like being good so that I'm helping the team. If
Or so that you don't have to fear the failure?
yes,
Yeah, yeah, those are good reasons. I like that answer. So thank you so much. Okay, all right. So I'm going to open my stream here. Can you pull up my Discord stream on your Twitch stream?
that is something I was slightly worried about, and I'm going to test it right now
Go
on the
ahead.
fly because why would I ever test anything beforehand?
Mm-mm.
Uh, I feel like I definitely should be able to. Maybe if I do that, that may work. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna try something here,
Mm-hmm.
and that worked. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Got you up.
Awesome.
The
Okay.
layered
Cool.
me's side by side is a little fun to see, but
That's awesome. Okay. So, if we're looking at the smokes, so one of the first things I noticed about the smokes was, yeah, I think it was this one. So, you did buy the Guardian a lot. This was interesting. You bought the Guardian a lot, and you only bought rifles on the last round. You only bought like a Vandal or Phantom on the last round.
mhm.
Why? Could you tell me why?
So, when I was going through of like messing around in the range, Kovacs, and all that fun jazz, I would use the Guardian a lot because of I was like, I don't want to rely too much on spraying down. And then I
Mm,
started getting to the point where I just like single shot precision. And it's also like 500 cheaper. So in my mind, I was just like, it's probably decent. I mean, it definitely has its weaknesses. I struggle close range, and especially for a
yep.
character that teleports like Omen, I probably don't want to struggle with that. But I do. I also just, I gotta admit, it just feels clean.
Yeah. So, this can be like a practice for another time. Um, with the Vandal, you can tap as well. The cool thing about the Vandal is that since it's an automatic rifle, it has a fairly low spray pattern when you are tapping. Like you can tap fairly quickly with it.
Hmm.
So one thing I might encourage you to do in the future, we're not going to focus on this too much, but if you do get a hold of a Vandal, try tapping as fast as you can while staying accurate. So we have the shooting error up
Mhm.
here. If you look at that shooting error, you can see if your shots are accurate. So I encourage you next time you get your hands on a Vandal in the pre-round at a wall or in the range or whatever, to like click as fast as you can while keeping it at just like first shot accuracy. Just tapping with first shot accuracy as fast as you can. And see
Okay.
how much that is, because I think you'd be surprised. And if you can get used to that rhythm, you can get some very quick and accurate shots out.
Mhm.
So that might be something that you might find interesting.
Oh yeah.
The reason I bring it up here is because, especially while we're on Omen, there is this shooting through the smoke with the Guardian. Do you know why this is a risky decision?
Because if they're in the smoke, they can spray me down and be more likely to hit me, as opposed to me trying to spray with the Guardian. Or
Yes.
okay.
Well, with a Phantom.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the thing about just a sec. All right. The thing about the Vandal is it's the same as the Phantom. Is that or no? The thing about the Vandal, it's the same as the Guardian. Is that it doesn't have a suppressor, so it does one tap at all ranges, but it also you can see the bullet tracers from anywhere.
Mhm.
So if I was on the other side of this smoke, like right here, can you see my mouse?
I can, and the stream
Oh,
can as well.
okay.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. So if I was right here and I saw this bullet go through the smoke and I had a Phantom, I'd probably just try spraying you down from here
Mhm.
because I can see where your bullet comes from. And Phantoms, when you spray through a smoke, do not have bullet tracers. So
Oh.
you would not be able to know where I'm shooting from. Unless like, I don't know, you saw like a bullet hit the side of this box and you could guess or something.
Mhm.
But that's something to keep in mind.
Okay.
It does make it harder to tap. So if you really do like tapping, you'll have to find a balance or like a type of burst. But messing around with that, and if you're going to shoot through smokes like this, I encourage you to look for a Phantom,
Mhm.
just because it's a lot safer.
Mhm.
I know like in the games that I play, if I spray through a smoke with a Vandal or a Guardian, I don't get to live much longer. It's not
Gotcha.
something that goes unpunished
Oh yeah.
for me. So good to catch that early, especially while we're playing with the smokes. While we're here, what's up with this smoke? So, what does this smoke do? What was the process of deciding on the smoke?
So I think now this is also when did I post this video? This is me trying to guess when I'm thinking 2 weeks ago, which is
Right,
difficult.
yeah.
But if I had to guess, I bought a Guardian this round, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the thought process was try to eliminate them swinging me from that box and trying to take a short range fight when I had a long range gun, and just basically single off where I had some range.
So you were, oh, okay. So you were isolating this angle. So you could fight this and not have to deal with everything over here.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So that's cool. That's awesome. We call that isolating angles. That is what smokes should do. That is fantastic. I'm very glad to hear that. However, this smoke in particular is a little bit awkward because not only does it block off this angle, but since it blocks off this angle, it was weird. It was like this or something. But since it blocks off this angle, it actually allows a player who's playing at the door to kind of walk up and peek right here. So instead of shutting that place off for you, it more made it like it definitely isolated it, right? Like this is the only one visible. You even got a kill in the chamber here.
One quick second. I had I was my Discord's been doing this thing where it just gray screens every now and then, but I'm back. Yes,
Okay, awesome.
I'm back.
So did you hear me?
Where I got, I think I missed a little bit of it.
Okay. So the cool thing about the smoke is that it does exactly what you're asking of, which is isolates this angle so you don't have to deal with it and you can just fight the guy up here.
Mm-hmm.
However, it also gives them the opportunity to move around it. So when we're looking at smokes, we got to think, what can they do around the smoke? Can
Mm-hmm.
they take advantage of the smoke in any way? And I think that this smoke in particular is one where like, yeah, they can kind of like walk right here and peek this.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't know until it's too late.
Fair, fair.
Meanwhile, on another round, if you had placed the smoke like here, and then peeked out, they actually wouldn't have the timing to be able to go through here because let's see, spawn barriers. So spawn barrier is here. Yeah, so they don't have the timing. This is like a little thing. You'll notice a little bit more, but if you guys both press the button at the same time here, you'd come out at about the same time. The jet would not really have time to get here. If it was like a neon or something, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say in general, smoking off the choke point instead of in the middle of something is a better idea.
Okay.
So there is that one. And then just thinking. So yeah, instead of throwing a smoke like this, if you want to cut off this angle, I'd say you can just smoke it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Flush with the doorway like this. It would also help if they've been pushing this for a while, you can start to use other things. So like you can paranoia this or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like, yeah, they kind of can walk through it if they wanted to. It's risky. I don't think they would, but it's an option. So that would allow you to take this fight by yourself much better than this one. Because with this one, it's like they could peek you from right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't know until it's too late. So
While you mentioned, just because you mentioned it, that is also something I would love to learn how to use better. Is I have no idea how to just style on the beat with paranoia, and just how to use it actively instead of just like setting up. Like I know how to use it on this map. I can go over to little cubby on B. Is it? Am I thinking the right one? Yeah. Over. Can you see my mouse?
no.
No. Well, fair. So there's that long hallway on B, right? Behind at the
Behind this
before
one?
spawn. Yeah. Where if I
Okay.
stand on the other side of that wall to my right,
Right here?
I can paranoia this and try to take out anyone greedy trying to get that and allow us to try to push through into there. But besides that, that is the only paranoia I know how to use.
Okay, yeah. So when it comes to using utility like that, I encourage you to watch players who are better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't always mean like watching like a whole pro VOD for the reason. There's channels, I can send you one later,
Mm-hmm.
that are like pro player VODs. Pro player VODs. And it's like cut off all the spectating, cut off all the pre-rounds unless they're strategizing, and then it's just like a 10-minute VOD of all the things that they did in that game, and the rest of it is cut out. So that's a quick and easy way. You can do that like right after a game. You're like, I wasn't really sure how to use my paranoia there. I wonder how a pro player would have done that. And then you can check a Omen Sunset Pro VOD, and you can finally be like, okay, they used it like here. So one place I would think to use it off the top of my head would definitely be right here. Look at that. Look how much of the lane that covers.
That's
so
solid.
on defense, this is a big one.
That's really nice. That's much better than the smoke I try to throw every round.
Yeah. If you're in a post plant position, this one from here, also very big.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, more than anything, I encourage you to experiment and see what you can find.
This is an
So
awesome software, by the way. Just side note, this is fantastic.
Yeah, Valoplant. I'm a big fan of Valoplant.
Deal.
So every time you use paranoia and you don't get anything out of it, you can you used paranoia. But every time you say I don't know how to use it, so you don't use it, you don't use it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and experiment with it. You can do it in like team death matches or whatever. Watching pro players gives you an idea of like what situations to use it. So usually if you're Omen, you would want to use it as your team is going somewhere. So if you're on B, I would say use it like here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this covers like this whole cubby here. It covers a lot of this staircase here. Stuff like that. A lot of good options there. But just experiment with it, see what other players are doing. We're not going to focus too much on that. We're going to go back to the smokes. So another moment of the smokes that I wanted to see. We'll do this one. Right here, I think. Actually, wait. While we're here. No, we'll stay on the smokes for now. We'll come back later. Alright, 2650 around here.
That's all you need.
This smoke. This is an interesting one. Let's see where this lands. Right there. Okay. Alright, so this smoke lands here. What is this smoke to do? Not that one. That one's fine. This one over here is good. What's this smoke? Oop. What is this smoke to do?
I think, in theory, what it was supposed to do was cover off top and side shooting, but looking at it now,
Like here and here?
yeah, but now looking at it, it makes a path where then, if they're not visible as soon as the smoke dissipates, they could be pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. So you saw it. So with the jet, we saw like the jet can be and took this path, right?
Mhm.
And then now you see this smoke and you're like, oh wait, there's another path here. So they can be like here. And if we don't take this elbow area, they could be like here. Just from rotating in. Or if somebody's in elbow and they were stuck on the site, so like if you were here and this smoke wasn't here and the enemy was right here, right, and your Reyna peeked here, they would either be forced to take the fight with the Reyna or take the fight with you. But because this smoke is here, like you said, there's a path. The path allows them to get out. So this smoke, yeah, is a rougher one. So where can we put this smoke instead, do you think?
So, think I would just need to make a decision on which one I want to clear with my gun and with my team, and versus which one I want to clear with my gun and my team versus which one I don't want to worry about. Or I guess not. You know what I'm trying to say. Not worry about.
Yeah, I think so. So where do you want to put it then?
So if the Reyna's there, then it would be probably best to cover backside, right? Or so I wouldn't want to be able to see it. So backside, but see, can I fit it between? You can't see my thing. Between the Omen teleport on top and yep. Wait. Okay. Oh, that's a way. Okay. South or down, right. Well, not that far. I guess that one could, but also I'm thinking between little left, little up, and then try to push it where I can get as much line of sight from there as possible.
Like here?
In theory.
Yeah. This makes sense. This makes sense, but unfortunately the smoke just isn't big enough for this.
Okay.
So this bench right here, this is a bench. Somebody can jump on here and peek this.
Ah,
and
got you.
Have a height advantage. So the walls barely connect. This is not going to be it. So I'd say that the usual smoke for this one is just back here.
It just put it deep. Deal.
Yeah. If you are... So usually you want to, with a site like this, you want to take it from both angles if you can, right? So there's 2 lanes for you to take here. That's pretty good. If you were only taking it from one, I would say a smoke like this might be a good idea. So you could do this on like a save round if they have guns and you don't, or something like that. One like this and your whole team goes here. This is a fairly good idea, I'd say. But in general, you would assume that that your team is going to split these 2 sides, and you would put it just here. Or I guess like a little further back, like that. And so let's think again about like the path, right? So yes, the path is cut off here, right? The path is cut off. But if we have it here, then there's like this extra space that we get. So it's like this area. And this is good area because there's cover here. There's, like I said, this bench you can stand on. It's exposed to this area, which we have control over now. And it gives us a better decision than like this. So if we have this, we get up to here, they could also very easily like peek from this side, and it might be hard to see them from here. So this space right here, we probably want to keep that. So pushing it a little bit further back makes it easier for us. And then usually this smoke dissipates early, And then we have this here, and like if you want, you can fight for this space and then fight like here, and then later into the round you can do something like this depending on what your plan is. But I think that the default really should be right here.
Okay, deal.
Gives us good space. So off the top of my head, I don't remember many other times. Okay, here's one. So on defense, pretty much every time on defense that I noticed, you stood here, you placed a smoke here, and then when the round started, you dropped and walked forward.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find a round where you did this. Oh, here's one, I think. Yep, here it is. Oh no, this time you were closer to the barrier. So this is what I was going to say first. So being up here, I'm not quite sure why we're here.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
We're further back, and then when we drop, it makes a noise. So if somebody is over here, they now know that you're on this left side.
Mm-hmm.
So just like standing on the ground against the barrier as you throw this is probably a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that your strategy, you mentioned this, was that you wanted to get a kill here and then teleport to this side.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This is a good plan. I'm thinking. I don't really have any. I mean, like, try it. I don't think it'll work all the time, but I think it'll work sometimes. And that's, the point. The point is that it works sometimes, and you got to figure out when it does.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this plan. Another one that you can do from here is like, there's this big green box right next to you right here, and you can teleport.
That I need to use a lot more.
Yeah.
I keep thinking in 2D. I need to think in 3D. I'm Omen. That's what I should excel at.
Yeah. So if you want to like kind of get an idea for it, in the pre-round before the round, you can kind of just like run around with your teleport out. Mm-hmm. Looking at different places that you can teleport up to. So another good one is if you're on post plant, right? So the enemy is going to flank from here. They're going to walk in through here. You can teleport on this, and then there's cover right here.
Oh, okay.
So you can be like right here, and you can like fight out here, or you can just hug this corner and fight these guys. You have options. So that's a cool one. B site is not great. I have no notes. You can teleport on this box, I guess. That's kind of cool. That's about it. But just looking for different opportunities like that, looking for different places where you can try that stuff. If you are retaking A, you can teleport on here and then get a little bit of a peek out here. That's fun. Like, just try it. So I noticed a couple of times, and I don't know, this definitely probably a fear of failure doesn't help either. But there were some times where you like pulled out your teleport and you like looked up at a box and you were like, nah. I was like, no, come on.
You were so close.
Because even if you teleport up here and then instantly die, you still use the teleport more than you didn't before.
Fair.
And you can use it at the pre-round, right? So you can, I think the barrier, let me see where the barrier is right here. Oh, it doesn't show. It kind of does. Okay, it doesn't. But, there are a lot of boxes where you can teleport right before the round starts. Mm-hmm. And you can get good spots. So if you threw this smoke from here and then teleported up here, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But like instead, it's like we either throw the smoke here and then make a footstep as we drop down, or nothing. So if you're gonna throw it from up here, try some teleporting, run around in the pre-round, look for spots to teleport. And then you can kind of do the same thing with your smoke. So we were talking about one ways. If you can teleport on something, you can probably put a smoke on it. So this box, for example, you can put a one-way here. And then this is elevation. So if so the way one-ways work is that the further away you are, the more advantage you have. And the higher up you are, the more advantage you have, I think. Yes. So this one-way is really good because you have all this distance between you and the smoke. The jet does not have much, as well as you have this height. So this is like a super valuable one way. You'll like see their feet and they can't see anything until they peek all the way out here.
Mhm.
Another decent spot to one way. If you want to get aggressive, you can try one like right here. So if, because they can kind of walk around it. Scratch that one. This one's okay. You could try this one. If you're holding like from here,
Mhm.
holding right here, you can get that one down. I rock with that one. You got to make sure this area is covered, but then you're good.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So,
experiment, try it. So anything you can teleport on, you can probably put a smoke on as well. So you
okay.
can go ahead and give that a shot. And again, one ways are a big thing about pro players, things pro players do. So you can look at the things they do and see, especially in ranked games, if there's anything you can take from it.
Mhm.
One big thing with one ways is that if you are on a site with a box next to the bomb, and
Mhm.
you can put a one way on it. So you can put the bomb right here and
I
then put
like
a one way here.
Oh, I like that a lot.
So
Oh, that's nice.
they can tap the bomb and then they just can't see anything. And then you can like jiggle it because they'll probably fake it the first time.
Mhm.
And then they'll like try to shoot you and then they gotta tap it again. But they don't know.
Mhm.
And then you can like teleport at your feet to make them think you teleported somewhere else or something. Like you could start doing the weird stuff at this point.
Oh yeah.
So
There was
throwing
what was it? A tins play where he just didn't he like use his ult and go just somewhere just random, but like it was just like, well, he could be literally anywhere now.
Yep, yeah. So that's another one thing about the Omen's ult is that it not only is there no clue as to where you are now, but it also fogs up the mini map for a while.
Mhm.
So if there's something like a cipher ult happening where you might not be able to see where everyone is the moment it goes off, you can Omen ult and then it'll fog up the mini map and it'll be harder to see what the cipher ult information is.
Oh,
And you can do the
okay.
same with something like a Sova dart or a drone or things like that. So if there's something happening, like actively something happening, and you have an opportunity,
Mhm.
ulting can like also it's just like an ult line. An ult line makes people jump a little bit. So
Mhm.
that's like extra value there. But when we're focusing on the smokes here, I think putting a smoke on a box, especially right above the bomb,
Mhm.
and looking for other one ways like this. A popular one is you can put one right here,
Ooh.
and then if you have another character, so when I play on Sunset, a lot of the time what it looks like is this, and then Gecko will throw a flash, and then I'll be right here, and I can peek this.
Mhm.
And then since this one way is here, these guys are like really weak to fight for the space.
Mhm.
And then usually they just don't fight for the space at all, and I can grab the orb, and now we're farming Razor. It's
Mhm.
really nice. Um, but you can do this even with just Omen because you don't need the Gecko. You can just paranoia this. So if you're playing with Irrelevant,
Mhm.
you can say, all right, Irrelevant, go to the elbow, goes to the elbow, and then you throw this one way. And you say, okay, peek. You throw this blind. So there you go.
Mhm.
And then after that, if they're still fighting it and stuff, like you can maybe go teleport up here now. Now you can keep fighting for this space in different ways.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
looking for opportunities, trying stuff out, especially, since we're so new to the game, trying stuff out, especially if you want to tell your friend about it, whoever you're playing with. Yeah, I'm going to try blinding this at the start of the round. Do you want to peek it? I'm going to one way this at the start of the round. Do you want me to one way for you? Little
Okay.
things like that. And then it's like, not only am I playing Valorant with my friend, but I'm playing Valorant like with my friend. Because sometimes it's just like next to them instead
Mhm.
of with them, if that makes sense. So now you can get a little bit more involved, which might feel pretty cool. Maybe,
Oh yeah.
make it more enjoyable.
'Cause I think especially in this very last game, I my shots were just hitting tonight, or at least for the last couple games, and then his weren't, and I wasn't helping at all. I was just kind of sitting there because we ended up being on opposite sides of the map pretty much every single time, and I think that ended up being one of the big reasons we switched over to Helldivers after this one was over.
Mm.
So I love like those combo things they do. Like even when it's just like, hey, I'm just gonna use my utility, and then letting someone know, oh, that's fun. That's
Yeah.
just like an alley oop. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's fun. And then, if you really want to like just get used to it more often, one thing you can do is just like get in a team deathmatch and then just start calling out your utility right before you use it.
Ooh, okay.
It's that easy. You could just go in a team deathmatch and then, you can go with a friend too. Be
Mhm,
like, I'm going to paranoia. There's nobody knows the call outs in team deathmatch. But you can say I'm gonna paranoia.
mhm,
And then you throw it. I'm gonna blind, and then you throw it. And then it's not even that you need to necessarily be working with it or have perfect timing, but just the getting used to saying the utility that you're using as you're about to use it,
mhm,
or even counting down. I'm gonna blind in 3, 2, 1.
mhm.
Little things like that make it so much easier to synergize with your team, which sounds like something that you'd really enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, super sick. So, what did we learn about the smoke?
We make sure that the smoke does not give the enemy more than it gives us.
Right. Absolutely, right? So especially when it comes to like, is there a path behind the smoke? There's
Yes.
a path here. There's a path here. These ones are the scary ones.
Mhm.
So what can we put? Where do we put these instead?
We can cover using. You can't see my mouse, so why am I pointing? I'm sorry. The
Mhm.
one your mouse is next to, we can cover that doorway from. I don't know what that place is called. I'm going to call it side B.
Okay.
Uh, and then very quickly move angle to angle, and we can cover back A site with that one, and then have
Yep.
either a friend swing it or be extra cautious swinging, covering. Yep.
Yep.
What is that?
Okay.
Is that cubbies?
It's. I think this is just called elbow.
Elbow. Deal.
Um. So the phrasing that we'll use for omen smokes is, or for these different points on the map, is these are choke points.
Hmm.
So this choke point, right? So you can literally see it how it like moves. It's like an elbow. It's like an edge here,
Hmm.
and then there's a choke point, which is this tight space in between.
Hmm.
Same with this doorway. There's a choke point. This one, choke point. You can see it like tightens up right there.
Hmm.
Tightens up right here with this ledge. Choke point. Simple.
Hmm.
Um, Also, as well as, I don't think I saw you use any other smoke other than this smoke at the start of the round for most of the defense half.
Hmm. That checks out.
That checks out.
Or when it, and I never used it during active times. I think there was a couple times I used it for like bomb
Yeah.
defense, but I think the one
Yeah.
time I did, I let him peek me and I immediately died. So,
Mm, yeah. So, I think one of the easiest times to do this is just like while you're rotating. So, like, if you throw this smoke here and nothing's here, and you hear Irrelevant doing something over here on B, you could be like, okay, they're on B. So then if the mid is safe, you can try rotating to mid. But then as you're doing this, you can even stop for a second and just throw this smoke on this choke.
all right.
Nice and easy. And then even if this is late, it means that they're cut off. So
Mhm.
the player who is behind here can no longer support the player who is out here. They can spray, I guess. They can like heal or something, but it's a cutoff. They have no line of sight through here anymore.
Mhm.
So even if it's late, it's valuable.
Okay.
Um, Switching up your smokes also might be a good idea. So if you do this smoke A every round and nothing happens, you can start throwing other smokes. So you can throw your smoke like here.
Mhm.
You can throw your smoke, like I said, this one way. This is a fun one. You can throw this smoke right here that we have at the start, although this space you might want to fight for. So maybe you can throw it even deeper like here.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, so now you get this. And then the fun part with this one is like you can hide behind this box
Mhm.
and then get one and then go back behind cover. And then guess what? You can teleport out.
I
Or
like teleporting.
or you can teleport in because
I mean,
this box is
that's just
awesome.
that's an underappreciated smoke. I mean, that opens them up to three different lines of sight as soon as they leave. Oh, I guess technically four if you count holding
Yeah.
ult orb with a shotgun, which I
Yeah.
think I
Yep.
tried
There's a
once
lot
and
here.
immediately died.
Yeah. Right. So, doing this is also kind of risky because if they're going B, there's probably going to be like literally 4 people here.
Mhm.
So it's not like it's going to be an easy fight. But if you throw this and you have like one other person, so I don't know who, it could be your jet, um, and then they're fighting this with you. You can get a couple. if your Jet wants to do this, you can just be here, and then you can paranoia.
That is a really good paranoia. Any
Yeah,
of that,
couple
yeah. That's a
options
good
here.
spot for it too.
Yeah, right.
And then that
So
gives
this,
Jet the ability to fall back, and you can crossfire to protect. That is a
yeah,
really
yeah,
good position.
yeah. It is, right. Um, so that's part of the cool thing about Omen is that Omen gives you the ability. I think you're talking about Omen's so flexible. I didn't see any of that flexibility. It seemed like you were kind of doing the same thing a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So even if it's just for one game, be like, okay, I'm never going to throw the same smoke twice in one, 2 rounds in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can start doing weird stuff, and then you can see what happens. And a lot of it is gonna suck. It's gonna be horrible, but you'll know when that happens,
Mhm.
and then you'll get better at it. That needs to happen, unfortunately.
Oh
It
yeah.
quite needs to happen. So those are the main things that I found with the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna write this down because we went over a lot of different things. So one thing is one ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one ways, anywhere you can teleport, you can probably put a smoke on. You want to have more distance from the smoke than the other person,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can remember this one. If the Jet is here and you are here, bar distance and elevation. So big good. We have one ways. We can throw different smokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can still throw your aggressive smokes, but except maybe not on A, you can do it on B. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe not right here, you can throw the one way like here. Or even like here or something. You can find a way. There's tons of choke points where you can throw these smokes. Yet you just did the same one over and over.
Yeah.
All right, on defense, throw smokes while rotating. So this is kind of hard because you're like literally moving as you're trying to place the smoke. You'll get better at it. You can stop for a second if you need to. But I highly encourage you to do that because if you're rotating,
Mm-hmm.
that probably means they're at least not over here, so probably towards where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and throw a smoke over there. Be careful not to throw a smoke like on somewhere that's bad for you, but I didn't really see you do that. It seems like you have a fairly well understanding of what parts of the map you already have control over and stuff like that. You didn't really do anything weird like that, so I wouldn't worry about it for now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are the 3 things on the smokes. Is my advice about one ways is actually throw them, try them, see what
Mm-hmm.
happens. Throw different smokes, so even if it's not one ways, if it's more aggressive, just see what else you could do. Look around and throw smokes while rotating. So that way you can use your smoke and you can use it proactively. And then we spiced in a couple things about like use paranoia through walls for your teammates or teleport on top of things or whatever. You'll find that stuff out as you play. Now, there are other things that I noticed that were not very Valorant related that I think make it harder for you to play Valorant.
Okay.
So we can start with here. So this one is a simple reaction. Something happens to you in game, you do something in game, however you want to describe it, and you react a certain way. So we could just watch the reaction and see how it is. React to yourself like a cool reaction.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The layered. Oh, I don't like how I'm swinging. I'm just bad at the game, is what it turns out.
What are you talking about?
I whiffed that really bad though. Chamber
Did
wasn't
you?
even looking at me.
Okay, what does whiff mean to you?
I did not get the kill. Or
Okay.
deal. I lost you. And I'm back. Okay. I don't even think I did. I think I hit him like once. Maybe?
So what is the reason you didn't get this kill? Let's watch it one more time. What do you think is the reason?
My crosshair placement was very bad. Granted, that probably is definitely not the only reason, but, well,
Man, your crosshair was on.
Okay.
That's not the problem. Do you see that? You see what I'm talking about
Yeah.
now? Like,
I
even if your crosshair placement is off, your crosshair is on him. I
mhm,
noticed this quite a bit. Like, your crosshair placement isn't perfect, but your crosshair placement is usually good enough that when an enemy is on your screen, your crosshair goes on them.
mhm.
However, it's not always true that you get the kill. Why didn't you get the kill in this situation? If it isn't where your crosshair is or where your crosshair goes, what could it be?
Well, is it the shooting error?
Yes. Yep. So you shot quite fast.
Mhm.
You shot quite fast with the ghost. And you can even see it up here on the shooting area. So this happens a lot too, where you shoot a little bit before you stop moving. I'm not too worried about that because the second and third bullets are usually okay.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, you can see it right now. It's a big like Wi-Fi bar. It goes straight up.
Oh yeah.
So that makes it hard for you to hit the shots that, you know, your crosshair is on him. Like I said, your crosshair is on this guy. One more time. Let's see right where it is. That's 720p, so I can't see it perfectly. But like immediately, your crosshair is like at least shoulder height on him.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
I haven't hit
You
that
agree?
second shot.
Do you agree that that's pretty good?
I agree. It's hitting the body.
Okay, now why did you say this? Hmm?
Because I whiffed the shot.
Because you whiffed the shot. Okay, so you instantly reacted to whiffing the shot with "you are bad at the game." I understand it's hyperbole. I understand it. I did personally. I'm of the belief that the way that you talk, regardless of whether it's what you believe, influences how you think.
Mhm.
As well as it's fine to be bad at the game. Like you said, you're level like 24, and even if you were level 240, I still wouldn't hold this much distress into clicking too fast with the ghost.
Mhm.
Because it's whatever, you know. It's fine. So now we can go a little bit forward to 130. Let's see.
I'm still learning. Keeps me out of the buy screen. I love it when I click the buy
Let's
button.
see. Wait, what did you say here?
Be
I'm
like
curious.
and it keeps me out of the buy screen.
Mhm.
And then
Random question
Yep.
about earlier. So I definitely threw those smokes way too early before we were able to clear, so they weren't as effective as they could have been.
Mm.
How do I work? I know this is the big part of why smokes are a thing. So, but how do I work around other people's smokes?
How do you work around other people's smokes?
L-
Hmm.
Like that Astra smoke was pretty well placed. If I think
Mm-hmm.
that would put it blocking off that thing. But even if I had those smokes up, the one on the side and the one top, that's still, if they know that smoke is up and know that we're not going to be able to take them as soon as they get out, they could theoretically push through that decently
Yep.
safe and even
So could you.
get to the cube. I'm just going to call it the square on B and have cover using my smoke as cover to defend themselves while taking, yeah, right where your mouse was. Well, there's
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, absolutely. And then basically just sets us up for a short range firing squad.
Yeah. So it definitely does. This is the thing where so first just remember like they're on defense, so what does their defense look like? Well, they have 5 players and you could be literally anywhere on the map. So on an average time, there's probably like 2 towards B, 1 mid and 2 towards A.
Mhm.
So firing squad, probably not. Firing squad, I think max is like 3 here.
Mhm.
And I don't think that they're all going to be able to push through the smoke at this moment.
Fair.
This is, you know, based on the speed. So if you get mollied off here, if there's like a brimstone molly and a viper molly or whatever, and you're stalling here and your team is just waiting here,
Mhm.
and you know they wait long enough that 5 of them are here waiting for you, I'd say yeah, that's a risky one. But at this speed, I think it's fine. And I think that, I mean,
oh mama.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think you would do if that started happening?
I guess you could go back into the smoke and risk them missing their shots, but be fair. Pull back, rotate maybe.
So here's a cool thing. I don't think any of your team realized this. Oh no, wait, your Reyna did. You guys have utility. So you have a blind, you have a blind, and look at that one. Come on now.
Yeah.
You got that one. For this backside here, so who do you have? Sage, Neon, Sova. So you can like Sova dart this and like Sage slow like this. Say, you can even like Sage wall like this. You have so many options for like things you can do here. This is like I think the big difference between even like good players, so like Diamond or Ascendant or even some Immortal players, and really really good players, is like the amount of utility they use and the timing of which they use it.
Mm-hmm.
So your Reyna here is walking out, your Sage is scared, which I don't blame her.
Oh boy.
And the only real utility that we used here as a team, I think, is these two smokes and a Reyna blind.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do if there's possibly a firing squad out here? If you're forced to take the site, or if you don't know, then you throw utility.
Okay.
You flip it into your favor using utility.
Talent is bold.
Oh yeah, here's one. So this is interesting. So I have my own perspective on this that I will share, but I'm gonna let it play out first.
Talent is bold. I have really just hoped for the best and it works.
Move out, bro. I'm gonna kill this fucking Neon.
All right, so talent is bold. You just hope for the best. So personally, my description of talent is curiosity and bravery, and they're just like multiplying each other.
Okay.
How I explain this is like, if you are interested enough in something, you'll be very curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not, so I think you have that. I think you have that curiosity part. The bravery part, I think you might, we talked about it. It's fear of failure, fear of people. That makes it hard to try these things, especially in a game like Valorant. Valorant is very socially, I don't know the word for it, but it's very social and like comparison driven.
Mm-hmm.
So like the scoreboard's always there. There's a match MVP. Teammates are very critical of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. That's why I chose, not why I chose, but that's one of the reasons that I choose Valorant as something to coach mentality through, is
Mhm.
because Valorant is, if you can figure out how to stay calm and centered in your mind in Valorant, you can probably apply that to a lot of other important places in life.
Mhm.
Valorant's a tough one for that. That being said, if talent is just curiosity and bravery,
Yeah, body.
all you're missing, I think, is the bravery. And then of course it also takes experience.
Mhm.
Right? So you can't just like be curious and brave and then be like, all right, well, I know everything now. You have to be curious and then go find out.
Mm-hmm.
Backwards. And then
See,
That's how I see it, at least.
forward.
And then there's this,
Body
right?
block.
So
Yeah, go backwards. And then forward.
again with the shooting error, your crosshair was perfectly on him.
Yeah,
Maybe not like perfectly,
Mhm.
but like that's pretty much on him.
Mhm.
Especially since he crouched. His head was right there. If you slowed down your shots a little bit here, I think you really would have kind of just obliterated him.
Mm-hmm.
Taking your time with these shots, whether that means like slowing down on your first shot or just like waiting a bit longer to take your next ones.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the reaction again.
Yeah, go backwards.
So let's pay attention to the reaction.
Man, I'm bad.
Ah.
That's not talent. That is, I am struggling.
My friend, struggling is talent if you do it right.
Fair. That is actually a really good way to look at that. I've never
Right?
thought about it that way.
Yeah. And putting it this way means that you can like become talented. That's an interesting thing people say often, is like talent is like some innate quality that some people have and some people don't. I guess that's like somewhat true. Like if you're gifted with certain things, like Michael Phelps has webbed toes, I think, or something like
I
that.
believe it.
And it's like, yeah, that definitely makes it easier to swim
Mhm.
compared to other people. But he also has like a lot of drive
Mhm.
and a lot of, I'm assuming, curiosity and bravery.
And a lot of hours in a pool.
Oh yeah, a lot of hours in a pool. So you don't have the hours yet. I don't think you have webbed toes.
Well,
And
working on that. I'm mutating
Working on
actively,
it?
but we'll cross that bridge later.
oh, let me know when that happens. I'm curious. Um, so we don't have the inherent advantage. We don't have the experience yet. The only two parts of it that we could actually have are the curiosity and the bravery. But more than that, how we react when we do bad means everything. So if when you do bad, if when you die in a game, you react by, well, here, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way.
Coming from behind, man, I can't play. Okay. Die. This is beautiful.
Ooh, do you see the contrast in how you talk to yourself and how you talk about others?
Mm-hmm.
You see the big difference. When you die, it's man, I'm bad. But when Neon does that and this,
That was even more.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now just imagine if you reacted to your own mistakes the same way you reacted to this Neon whiffing. And how much easier it would be to make progress on the things that you want to strive towards.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I can't say for sure that failure has no consequences, because that's not true. But this is Valorant. This is an unrated Valorant on stream. Like, I guess the consequence is, like, you look a little bit worse on stream, but do people go watch your stream for
Oh yeah, no.
sick Valorant clips?
I'm
Probably
lucky
not.
I'm in bronze. Very low
Yeah.
elo.
I think the so far the consequence I have noticed to failure is the way you react to it. And then if you want to tunnel into this further in your own time, I would start to ask yourself, like, when did you learn to talk to yourself like that? And that's something for you to find out on your own and for you to work through. But I think as you start to figure that out and as you start to realize the consequences of talking to yourself like that and how you don't need to do that anymore, it might get a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I overstep in any way? I'm getting a
No,
little bit
not in the
personal.
slightest. I'm
Okay.
honestly, if we're gonna get deep, let's dive in the pool. I love being psychoanalyzed for the sole reason of I have no idea what's going on upstairs.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm saying is find out what's going on upstairs. So that's what I mean by find out when you, or ask yourself, when did you learn to talk to yourself like that? And for some people it's like, oh, I got bullied in a video game when I was like a teenager. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. For other people it's like adults in their life or other people in school or all these different experiences that shape how we react to things in the world. And the interesting part is like it's never at other players. It's always just at you. When you man, you can't play, but when it's Neon, it's beautiful.
Die. This is beautiful.
It's beautiful. So I encourage you to dive into that and figure that out. You can, one of my favorite things is just like when I notice that type of stuff, open Notepad right away and then just start like typing out your thoughts relating to that. And then if you look at it after you're done, like you could do this while you're dead, like right now. Probably not while you're streaming. But then you type it all
I have
and you look
a
at
fair
it.
bit of desk space. I got this whole slide over here where I even have magic cards over here. I have a whole side thing. Could have a whole notepad. No one could see what I'm. Well, I guess you could if you were dedicated. But I could have stuff. I could do it. I like this plan.
So that would be, I think, the first step to figuring out what's going on here and then breaking it down, is to literally break it down, is to let yourself kind of talk about that feeling and talk about that reaction, and then
Mhm.
look back at it at the end of the writing or after the stream or after the game or whatever, and
Mhm.
be like, and then just like look at it, you know, with compassion, you know, not with like more of, man, I'm bad at writing about how I feel, you know.
Yeah.
That's a trap that's easy to fall into, but go into it with that perspective and see what you can find. And I think as you start to do that, you'll start to deconstruct this thing and you might start to respond differently, as well as just notice when it happens. So I was able to see it very clearly here because I was watching this VOD, but when you were playing the game, you probably didn't notice any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I
No,
don't blame you.
I was honestly just happy because, I mean, it's probably easy to tell because it's very poorly masked. I used to have a very big like anger issue, and it was in the same instance. It was never at. It was just like I would get more angry about it, which is something I've really enjoyed about streaming. Is that I don't want to be like that on stream. I want it to be like a fun place. Anybody can come, hang out, that kind of stuff. So I've tried to forcing myself not to get angry. Don't get me wrong, I have a long way to go, but it has
Mm.
definitely helped that mindset quite a bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It kind of forces you into a perspective for a bit.
Hmm.
So, taking a look at so I guess what we're saying is take a look at the process of your angry reactions and
Mhm.
see what it looks like, really like kind of see what it looks like internally.
Hmm.
And I think as you start to do that, you'll start to break down these important things and you'll start to talk to yourself. Maybe not like, you probably won't call it beautiful, but you at least won't, you know,
I won't go
say stuff
ah.
like
I
that.
won't
Yeah.
actually growl or
Or
whatever that
even
is.
better yet, maybe you could react with the same energy as, so when you die, you react. Man, I can't play. Right? So there's energy here. It's like, man, you move your head. It's like, man, I can't play.
I
So then
roll.
what happens when you do something like this? Nothing.
I get one a game.
I get one a game. The stark contrast. It is
Fair.
strong. So I'll say a little bit more you can do is let yourself have this moment. Because you don't even let yourself have this. You say, I get one a game. And then you do it again. And then the next round, you do it again. Not the exact same thing, but let's see if I can find
Oh, it's
exactly
this
where
one
it is.
where I forget
Yeah.
there's a wall and I just run into it. Oh, it's not this one.
Oh.
My bad.
Oh wait, no, this is a 3K. So hold on. Yeah, let me go. Right. So it starts actually with the Sova, or no, there it is. That chamber in the main, and then you peek in this Sova. It goes out, and then Astra peeks, and you get them. You giggled a little bit. That was nice. That was a little bit better.
Okay. Improvement.
But-
Improvement.
Yeah, right. So it's always improvement. So not only do I want you to know, let yourself go a little bit about these smaller moments, but also just like be proud of the things that you can be proud of. Because it's not like, you know, it's not going to be perfect, especially when you're at this inexperienced level. It's going to be, you know, fluctuating back and forth. But let yourself have these good moments as much as you let yourself, you know, react with frustration to these more, you know, upsetting moments.
Hmm.
So those are the two things that I wanted to cover. We talked a lot about utility in general, but we focused on smokes. I told you to experiment with one ways. Anything that you can teleport on, you can probably throw a smoke on. Throw different smokes. So the easiest way to find out what smokes work and what ones don't is to throw more of them. Try not to throw the same smoke every round and then nothing else like you have in this one. As well as when you're on defense, you can throw your smokes while rotating. Because if you're rotating, your team would probably like the smoke.
Fair.
So you can go ahead and throw that. If you need to take a second to stop moving so that you don't mess up the smoke, go ahead. If you want to try doing it while running, you know, just try it, experiment, see how it goes. And then as for the mentality, I encourage you to be curious and to, you know, try tons of new things and not really be afraid of the consequences, because there aren't too much. It seems like the biggest consequence is how you talk to yourself. And when you notice that anger of how you talk to yourself when you make these mistakes, try to like figure stuff out about it. Try to figure out how it works. Try to figure out what's going on in there and see if it's reasonable, if it comes from anywhere, or if it's just random. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think as you do that, you'll get a better grasp of Omen. You'll get to do more silly plays. You'll get to, that also comes from the bravery stuff.
Mhm. That's something
and-
I wish. Oh, wait, sorry. Go ahead. All you.
And you'll what was it? And you'll have more fun, I think, when you're enjoying the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll have more fun playing the game, and maybe other games too. I don't know how much this applies to other games, but
Well, I mean, you should check out the titles of my Elden Ring series. I'm getting bodied, I'm getting wrecked, and I'm starting to see this a lot more now.
I'm curious. Hold on. Oh wait, no, this is the stream right now. I'm gonna go here.
Oh, yep.
Getting
Hey,
beat by the lands between four. Oh, it's tough out here.
which I will say, I handled the bosses fine. It was all fine. Have you played Elden Ring?
No, I haven't played any Souls-likes yet.
Love those games. I listen to that. I talk about that game way too much, but we'll cross that bridge when we're pertinent. But there was one night that I mean, I kid you not, I beat. What did I beat that in that yesterday? I beat the Red Wolf of Radagon. I beat Renala. I beat the Leonin Misbegotten, and I beat the Ancestor Spirit. All of them combined did not kill me as much as this random carrion knight that was just like, sup, bop! I got bodied by him and him alone.
Oh no. Does he like operate differently than a lot of the other enemies or
He
something?
acts more like a player,
Oh.
but the reason he bodied me is because I don't know of any other enemies in the game that do it. He can parry you. And hold on. I have to talk about this. Can you go to that stream? It was early on because I tore through.
All right, let's see.
Oh, that's right. I did it yesterday. I haven't posted it yet.
This one.
It should be. Oh, should be okay. Where you were. Actually, yeah. Or wait, little right after where your mouse was. Right there. You should see it. Oh, perfectly placed. This is the first time I fought this guy.
Oh, I'm curious now. Oh. Okay.
And just watch the health bar. Like, this is a very tanky build.
Moongrim Carrion. Okay. You're running a very tanky build, you said?
Oh yeah. Fast but tanky.
Okay.
It's all going good. And gone.
Whoa.
Because that one was a stance break where I got too greedy on my blocks and he broke my stamina. But every other time after this, I'm pretty sure the right next one after this, it is parry, dead. I think I was at full health too. But every other thing in the game, stop. Him, he's the op. He's him.
It's that one. That one.
That one, get him.
All right. Okay, awesome. So, do you have any more questions for me about Valorant or any of the things that I've talked about so far that you might want to know more about before we close the session?
Not that I can think of. I may bother you in the future once I get a little more comfortable with what I'm working on now.
Okay, awesome. Do you feel like everything I've said was clear, easy to understand? I kept track of everything like that.
This was fantastic. This was really helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more. That's what I'm here to do. And hopefully you can enjoy Valorant a bit more. You can enjoy Omen and his silly abilities a bit more.
So
That's
much
really
fun.
what I'm here for.
He is so much fun. The dream is, maybe not as aggressively as they play, but like Tins and Flex, how they're just like, I'm gonna teleport, get 3, teleport away. Just make stuff happen. Be a mover and a shaker.
Yeah. It's really fun. It's really fun, and it takes a lot of different skills happening all at the same time. But
Oh
with
yeah.
enough time, I think you absolutely can get to whatever level you want to be. And me, I always say, don't take the pro players or your favorite one trick characters as like idols. Do not try to be like them. Just try to be inspired by them. Take the things that they do and put it into your own play style and adjust it however you need to so that it fits you, not the other way around.
All right. I do have
All
one
right?
quick question for you, building off of
Sure.
that. What play
Mhm.
style do you think I have right now? And what does it
Yeah.
seem like I like to do?
Sure. So, your playstyle right now looks like you're afraid of pressing any buttons.
Fair. Very fair.
So, playstyle, from how I understand it, is a thing that you build over time,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, especially only level 24 and whatever, and you haven't tried all of the agents and etc. etc. I'd say you don't have one yet, and I think that's perfectly fine. That means you get to build one.
That's very fun. That's an open book. That is, well, not open
Yeah.
book. That's a
One thing that I like to do if I'm trying to diversify or build a play style is I'll say play a character. So go into a game and then pick an agent and then be like, I'm going to be super aggressive or I'm going to be super sneaky or kind of like play the extremes
okay.
of a character. And maybe you can even put a voice on it or something, an accent if you want, and lean into that. And then
That's a
as
fun
you do
stream.
that for a bit, you'll start to pick up your subconscious just by itself will start to pick up the things that worked from each of those play styles, and over time you'll add the things that you need. So you can try that, and maybe that'll help you build a more definitive play style in a way. But it can be whatever you want. Your play style right now, I think, is not entirely a blank slate. You clearly have ideas of what you want to do, but you haven't really done it yet. You aren't quite sure how it's going to work out. So go see how it works out.
All
If you
right.
want to play like tens or flex ninja for a game, go try that. See how it goes. It'll probably go badly,
Mm-hmm.
but if you do it enough times, it'll get less bad. And then you can bring it to your games and it'll be like, oh, this kind of fits.
All right.
Slow and steady. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was very great going over your VOD and talking about all these things with you. I'm so glad I could help a ton.
Why are you thanking me? You're
Bec-
the coach. I'm thanking you. Thank you
because
so very much.
it was awesome spending time with you. I'll see you later. Bye
Yep.
bye.
See you. And that is all I had planned for this stream. I'm sorry I didn't check chat. Thank you. I see I got a lot of follows. Thank you so much. I loved seeing it. I tried to talk to the side, but I also really wanted to learn so I could make better content, make more interesting content. And now that we've seen that, that also, do you like my icon? Little side note, I love dragons, love How to Train Your Dragon. So, but we're going to be seeing, gave me an idea where we're going to be seeing a lot more Omen, and we're gonna full on be Omen. We're gonna be rocking it. Hold on. Oh, I kind of like that actually. That's pretty cool. Sorry for the mic stuff, but thank you all so much for hanging out with me. It was a blast, and I'm streaming tomorrow. I'm probably gonna stream Final Fantasy 14. Gonna be trying out that game because some friends of mine play, and the new DLC is coming out, and I want to play that with them. So thank you guys so much for coming, and catch you all in the next one. Peace.